This show is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. That's right, the video game show that is not hosted by annoying clickbaiter. We only talk about video games, the business of video games, and cover topics that mainstream YouTubers don't cover. Now, with that said, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and now let's get ready for the show. On today's episode... Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Suing is all the rage, right? That's what people are doing now, suing everybody. Whether it's silencing them, claiming they have damages, what have you. That's what's going on in today's world. Now, when it comes to Sweet Baby Inc., in my opinion, okay, this is just my opinion, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not thinking about if they will sue. I'm thinking about when. When will they sue, right? When does a company sue in this kind of a situation? And it's a great question, I think, not only for the company, but for YouTubers, social media people out there. Because sometimes when criticism goes beyond the pale, when it starts affecting a company, when a company is large enough, they don't really care because their business is going to go forward no matter what. But when it's a smaller company, sometimes, a lot of times, you get legal action if the backlash or whatever's happening against them is big enough that they can cease to operate. Now, you're in a situation here with a lot of people have given their opinions on Sweet Baby Inc. You have a situation here now where at least one developer says, if we knew what these people were doing back then, we probably wouldn't have worked with them, right? And as this happens more, in my opinion, right, and I'm not a lawyer, right, but in my opinion, looking at the landscape, YouTube landscape out there, and what's going on now of people suing each other, I think it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. You have to remember, guys, laws everywhere are different, right? California might be different than Texas, or the United States might be different than Canada. So you're dealing with all these different things. But bottom line, until now, the criticism has not affected the company, right? The millions of dollars that they've made are still pouring in, but what happens when it doesn't? What happens when the backlash gets so big that they're not able to sign contracts anymore? That they're not, people are not willing out there to hire them to do this type of work anymore. What are they going to do? Do they do the same thing as, Logan Paul? Do they go for the defamation claims, right? Slander and libel? Right, that would be one thing, companies do or people do in general to try to silence other people. And not only do you have to remember that that's what a company can do, but you have to remember from the other side, are these YouTubers prepared? As we talked about before, a lot of people on social media just get on there and start claiming that they're journalists or start saying, I have this entity now. But nothing's really done. A lot of these are hobby channels that get popular talking about a particular subject, but they're not in business per se, right? They haven't established themselves as a business. Now, what I would do if it was me and I wanted to be a quote unquote journalist, even though I'm not, right? I haven't gone to journalism school or anything. But if I wanted to do that, the first thing I would do is get legal advice, right? How far can I go? I want to talk about this. How far can I push the envelope before my free speech turns into something else, right? Because we say free speech, but there are limits. In America, there are limits in other countries to the things you can and can't say. Here in America, you can get sued for anything, right? And even if it's within the law, somebody just might think, well, maybe it's not. let me sue you. Let's go to court. And that's the way a lot of these cases get settled because nobody wants to spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars in court cases. So could they go that route? Yeah, who knows, right? More seriously, right? You're talking about tortious interference or with business relationships. Those are huge in a lot of countries. When you interfere with business, when you interfere with a contract. Johnny Somali would be a perfect example. When he got busted, he didn't get busted for being an a-hole on a live stream. He got busted for interfering with business, right? For actually disrupting a business. So depending on what country you're in, those laws might be different. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just telling you what could happen. And if you're a YouTuber that is not prepared, right? If I'm out there just starting a YouTube channel and I just called myself a journalist, and I'm saying all these things, and I have no insurance whatsoever, right? And this company starts suing me. What am I going to do? What, you know, I have to go out and spend more money that I've ever made, you know, because a lot of these people are going to say, well, these people are, you know, talking badly about my company or about an individual because they make money, right? And remember, all that money is public information. You know, they can just go get it straight from YouTube or do some sort of analytics on your channel and examine your super chats and say, well, before they started talking about my company, this is how much they made. And after they started bad-mouthing me, you know, of course, this is what they're going to say, might say, who knows, they made this much, right? And it could be, you know, some channels are made on controversy, right? But are you a real business? Does your opinion matter, right? And, you know, many things can come from that. You can get an injunction depending on what country you're on. They could just claim maybe that it's online harassment on your employees. I mean, they can claim many things. When, you know, they start doing these things in a court of law, they claim everything, right? When you see the filings of the court, they say, oh, they did X, Y, and Z, defamation, liability. They infringed on my, you know, copyright. They engaged in online harassment. So they put all these things that whoever's on the other side might have to defend themselves against, right? So now you're a YouTuber, you start your own channel. Maybe you had, I don't know, 5,000 subscribers, and all of a sudden you have, you know, 50,000, whatever it is, because of the growth that this controversy brought to you and these constant videos, right? And that's where they're going to go, this is harassment. Look, you can say your piece in 2-3 videos. Why do you have 20? You know, that kind of stuff. What are the laws in you know, whatever country they sue you? Who the hell knows? Right? Who the hell knows? But the thing is that you do have to be prepared. What if you collaborated with somebody else? What if you have a little group, right? These are just hypotheticals, guys. I don't know this to be a fact, but, you know, this is what some YouTubers do. Let's say that you have a little club, you know, you're you know, preparing what are you going to say and this and that and the other, and you're coming up with ideas for videos in the background. Is that collusion? I don't know. You know, again, I'm not a lawyer, but if these things are out there, these are things that you might have to prepare to defend yourself against. So, and I really don't think that this is a matter of if Sweet Baby Inc. will sue, but when, right? And when really has to depend on when they're losing money. I mean, how much stuff are you going to do? You know, how much are they going to take? How many contracts are they going to lose before they start taking legal action? That I couldn't tell you. Maybe a huge contract. Maybe they have something with Sony, something with Nintendo, something with Xbox. I don't know. You know, but if they lose one of those, specifically because of all the hoopla that's going on YouTube or social media, you know, I could see them taking a crack to trying to shut up the bigger voices. You know, whoever's gotten bigger, whoever's gotten the most amount of money, and make an example out of them, right? Because a lot of companies do that. They'll just go after somebody really big so everybody else can see what could happen to you and try to, quote unquote, teach somebody a lesson that way, right? I think, you know, it's probably not the most effective way, but if these companies have millions and millions of dollars already, they can afford to. You know, they can afford to go to social medias, companies, and examine their contracts and see whether you're technically violating something. You know, they can do that. And they can do a lot of damage control, right? They can pinch you in a negative light and say, okay, well, this person is just grifting, whatever they call it, whatever the kids are saying now, in order to make money out of my name, out of our work. And while they're doing that, right, for financial gain, they're, you know, they're building themselves up by trashing us. That would be, you know, I guess the argument in court. But in the long run, a lot of these strategies are just getting you in court, knowing that you're going to run out of money and you're going to have to settle in the long run and shut you up. When they do that to a bigger YouTuber, whoever that may be, maybe that's going to be the strategy. I don't know. But at this point, right, if I was going to start a channel doing these kind of things and start criticizing these companies, which I do, you know, I'll make a video here and there about, you know, whatever company, give my opinion, and that's it. I don't think I need to talk about it, you know, 17 times, you know, in order to get my point across. But it's going to be interesting. Whatever happens is going to be interesting. When could this happen? I don't know, maybe a year from now, year and a half from now, you know, when they really start seeing those contracts dry up, I think that's when it's going to happen. But I think it will happen. All right, humans, I will catch you on the next one. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.